Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're just waiting for more participants, so we'll start in a few minutes. Hi, everyone. We're going to give about one more minute to let everyone join, and then we're going to start. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Robin Crotty, and I would like to welcome you to the latest installment of Coffee Talk with ReadyTalk. Today's 30-minute webinar is designed to provide a deeper dive into the Replay product, answering questions around what it is, what problems it solves, and who it benefits. Before we get started, I'd like to go through some housekeeping items. We will follow up with the link to the recording of today's session after the event. Questions will be addressed in real time through the chat window, so please submit any and all questions into chat throughout the event. We encourage you to join the social conversation, so please use hashtag #RTCoffeeTalk on Twitter or use the @ReadyTalk handle. As a reminder, all attendees will receive a $5 coffee gift card delivered via email after the webinar. Today's agenda will include a speaker Q&A covering what is Replay, why Replay, the benefits to the marketer, and the future of webinars, as well as a Replay product overview demo. Today, our coffee talkers include Sam Morgan, Senior Product Manager at ReadyTalk. Sam geeks out on understanding how ReadyTalk can help marketers share their best ideas with their audience and take the stress out of webinars. She also works with our customers and partners to build integrations with the ReadyTalk platform, including Salesforce.com, Marketo, Eloqua, and more. We also have Drew Fry, Demand Gen Manager at ReadyTalk. Drew is focused on putting marketers first and making it easier for them to connect their message with their audience. He also manages ReadyTalk's customer marketing programs, including the advocacy group, the Summit Club. In his off hours, you can find Drew watching EPL and walking his dachshund Boris. Welcome, Sam and Drew.
Thanks, Robin. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great to be here.
All right, let's dive right into the Q&A session. To start us off, do you think webinars are still relevant?
I'll answer that first, Robin. Webinars are definitely still relevant. People in marketing roles today are measuring success through the number of quality leads they generate, the conversion rates, and the number of sales won from the leads that they are generating. In the research done this year, Content Marketing Institute, an entrepreneur, found that 20 to 40% of people who attend webinars become quality leads. And when I talk to people in marketing, they tell me that webinars continue to be an important part of their content marketing strategy, in large part due to the conversion rates. This also matches what we're seeing in the industry. The same sources found that over 60% of organizations are using webinars for B2B content marketing.
Yeah, I think, thinking about webinars are definitely a part of our MarTech stack. They're definitely a tried and true lead gen tool. And if you think about it, nearly everyone who attends your webinar has at least shown some sort of interest in what it is that you're talking about. So by being able to display your level of expertise and insight, you're able to connect with your audience on a deeper level, at least way more so than email, that's for sure.
All right, considering the state of webinars, what is Replay and how does it fit into a webinar strategy?
So Replay is a new product on the ReadyTalk Illuminate platform. It allows people to stream recordings to a live audience without requiring support from anyone else. The person hosting the event and those speaking can choose to attend, or they can have the recording playback automatically at the specified date and time. It provides the ability for the audience to chat with each other and or the person hosting the event and the people speaking, if the host and the speakers choose to attend. The way it relates to webinars is people in marketing have a limited time window to make a positive impression on others. They want to present the best version of themselves and their content. They also want to focus more on interacting with people attending the event rather than focusing on the logistics of the event. They want to connect with the largest number of people possible so they can generate those quality leads and help with sales. And finally, they often have to do all of this with a limited team size, limited time, and a limited budget. So Replay is meant to help with all of those challenges and needs. Drew, are you seeing any of that yourself in your role?
Yeah, I mean, I think how this is going to change our webinar strategy moving forward is that I'm now able to really dial in on the content and focus on what matters, right? So I can spend more time researching, more time gathering stats, and really obsessing over the material and not really focusing on the logistics at all. In fact, it actually takes a lot of stress out of the webinar experience, period. You know, I'm not staying up late at night, anxious the night before a webinar the next day. I'm in fact well asleep, enjoying my night's rest, and looking forward to this webinar. And you know what? The fact that I'm able to be so less stressed out over the webinar itself is great, and I think my wife actually would thank you for that.
I bet she does.
Yeah. But since we can literally replay this anytime that we want, I'm able to hit difficult to reach time zones like Australia and Japan, for instance. So again, I don't have to wake up at a weird hour in the middle of the night. Instead, I can just relax, check in on the webinar on my own schedule, on my own time, and again, it just takes a lot of stress out of the entire webinar experience. So I think that's how it's going to change our webinar strategy moving forward. We're going to definitely do more and more webinars.
And as you say that just warms my heart, because those are the exact problems that we're trying to help solve with Replay. Really maximizing the time and money that people have already spent on content creation, extending how and when they can reach people, saving money on that pre and during and post-event process, also helping with the cost reduction, that cost per lead. And it's that showcasing the best you, the best work that you have, and taking the stress out of hosting the event. And part of that being reaching people in different time zones without having to wake up or get in trouble with your significant other. And really, the purpose is to try and let marketers like yourself focus on the most important lead generation or goal achievement activities rather than having to worry about a lot of logistical aspects of webinars themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking to those problems it solves for the marketer, why did you decide to develop this product?
Yeah. Our overall goal in general is to create products and solutions that help organization and people create connections. Connections to each other, connections to content, connections to a brand, to a cause, to an organization. So that's really our overarching goal from product development perspective. But the concept of reusing content or pre-recording content and sharing it came after hearing stories like the ones that Drew said, or other stories that people in marketing have shared, where they say that webinars are great, they have a lot of benefits, but, And then they proceed to list off all of the challenges around, how much time and energy they require for planning, coordination, content preparation, all the practice, the level of stress they bring, and just the risks that come with doing it live. Things happen, you just can't plan for those things. And then with the fact that how marketing programs are being measured today, there's a lot of pressure around hitting that attendee target. And if you're bringing in speakers, it can be really, really expensive. And then the final one, and I think it's still a challenge very much today, is, they tell me, I'm not sure I picked the right content or the right topic. So there's a lot of stress around, did I even bring the right content to the table for delivery? So to address those challenges, we originally developed a solution that we provided as a managed services option. And marketers said, oh, that's really great, but what they said was they really wanted something that they could do themselves on their time. So that's how Replay came to be, is to fulfill that self-service need and still address the challenges that we were looking to address to start.
So why would you go for replayed versus providing an on-demand webinar?
Yeah, the biggest difference really between on-demand and a live webinar is that more people actually will attend the live webinar. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. People have the best intentions. They'll say, oh, I'll listen to that on-demand webinar whenever I get around to it. I'll try to carve out some time later in the day. But in reality, we all live busy lives, and it's really hard to find that extra time at the end of the day. And if you look at it from the other point of view, the live webinar, you're mentally prepared for this. You've signed up for it weeks in advance. Even as simple as there's a calendar invite that it will go off letting you know that you're about to attend this webinar. I mean, you have prepared for this, and the live webinars just perform so much better. So as a marketer, I want to have that live webinar experience as often as I can, and with Replay, I'm able to do that. I'm able to have kind of the best of both worlds. I'm able to record it earlier, make sure it sounds perfect, or at least how I want it to sound, and then I can then send that out as if it was live. So it's great.
How is this different than what's already in the market?
So for us, Replay is built specifically for people like Drew, people in marketing. We understand that content gets generated through a lot of different sources. So we are thinking of how can we provide the ability for people to upload an MP4, create it anywhere, and be able to play it back on this platform. So whether they're using a ReadyTalk platform or something else, they would still have the ability to play it back. And also we're really putting heavy focus on that human interaction aspect of it. The experience is meant to be friendly and help people create an emotional connection. So often we use a solution that we have to. We want to create a solution that people want to.
This has been a really interesting conversation so far, but I think what people really want to know is, where do you see the future of webinars going?
So I'll take a first stab at that. So as Drew mentioned a little bit earlier, there is an ever-increasing premium on people's time. For people to spend some of it attending webinars, the webinars must be interesting and have engaging content and needs more multimedia delivery. People also want content to be delivered where they are. In the applications they use, they don't want to always have to go to, where you tell them to go. If you can just be in the application they use, then that's more convenient for them and creates a greater likelihood that they're going to attend and spend some of their time watching your webinars. So webinars need to and are evolving to meet these needs and expectations. So people in marketing are telling me that they are being asked to do more fireside chats, more interviews, and or TED Talk-like events instead of a more slide-focused webinar. They're moving towards webinar being less scripted and more informal, and they're having to find more delivery channels to be where their audience is rather than that forcing them to be on their platform or the platform that they've chosen. And data and analytics are becoming really crucial because they help the host and the content creators understand what is working and what isn't working, and when people are engaging and when they're not. And so these are all just interesting challenges that we're.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would want to add to that is just the importance of the analytic piece. So stats and analytics are so important with everything that marketers do, maybe more so now than ever before. So if we're able to tie stats and analytics to a content campaign, to webinars, we look better to our bosses and our bosses' bosses. If we're able to say that this piece of content in this webinar worked because of X, Y, and Z, and it didn't work because of X, Y, and Z, even better. Doing more with less. I feel like everybody is feeling the pinch, so to speak, with being able to having to spend less amount of money but still being in charge of producing even more results. And so that ability to replay and reuse a lot of these webinars, these pieces of content that might have taken you a really long time to promote, to create, if you're able to reuse those again and again and again, then you are able to do way more with less, and you as the marketer will be able to look really good. and so that's it. I mean, the analytic piece, doing more with less, those two things are paramount with where webinars and marketing are going.
How do you see ReadyTalk moving forward in this space?
As I mentioned before, with all the challenges and kind of just the general trends, that's really where we're focusing on, is how do we support being where the audience is? How do we support being an easy-to-use, person-friendly application that allows people to have more of an informal type conversation, and how do we help people be smarter about the content that they're creating? So being able to take pieces from, hey, this part of the content worked here and it aligns with this other piece of content, and now I'm going to put those together. And to that reuse perspective, really looking towards supporting that need and that desire, just constantly more ways to provide insights into what's happening before the event, during the event, after the event, and helping make those marketers look good, to be those superstar people. So that's really where we're looking to take ReadyTalk Illuminate and all the solutions we have in the ReadyTalk suite to support the marketers.
Great. Thank you, Sam and Drew, for the interesting discussion. Now it's time to see Replay in action.
Thanks, Robin. What you're seeing here is the login page for Replay. Replay is on our new platform, the ReadyTalk Illuminate platform. So you'll log in with your email address and your password. Once you log in, you're brought to the events homepage where you see all of your scheduled events or running events. At the top, you'll be showing any events that are playing right now. Next, you have a Next Events section, which shows all the events that are scheduled within the next 30 days. And for each of those events, you'll see a counter that shows you how many hours, minutes, or days away that particular event is. And if I had any events that were scheduled for 30 days in the future, I would see another section called Future Events, which shows any events greater than 30 days from today. To create an event, click the Create New Event button here at the top. Creating an event is a simple 5-step process. You start by entering the title for your event. You choose your content. So you have the option to choose content that you have stored on the ReadyTalk service. Once you sign in, you'll get a listing of all the recordings that you have currently stored from newest to oldest. Your other option is to upload an MP4 video from your local system. Once you select your recording, you'll enter the date and time that you want the event to occur. All events that are scheduled will automatically start on their scheduled date and time. However, if you want to be able to manually start those events, you can click this option. I want to start my event manually. I'm going to go ahead and choose that since we're giving a demo today. Then you click the Schedule Event button. A copy of the MP4 that you've selected either from the ReadyTalk service or from your desktop will be brought over to the ReadyTalk Illuminate platform, so you can play it back through replay. Once the upload occurs, you're taken to the event details page, which shows you the name of your event, the recording you chose, and gives you the option to edit that event. It also provides the join link for your attendees. If you're using a marketing automation tool, you will copy and paste this into any of your email assets, your confirmation and reminder email assets. The preview event button will allow you to preview the recording to make sure it's the right recording and to get a sense of what it would look like for your audience. That's also the interface that will allow you to start events if you've chosen the manual start option. You can scrub through the event, and you'll notice here at the top that it shows that you are in preview mode. And because I have chosen the Start Event option, you'll see the Start Event button here. So now I'll bring up another browser and show you what that view looks like for an attendee. Paste the join link that I copied from the events detail page. The registration page loads, and I'm asked to enter my name, my email address, and my company. If the event hasn't started, I am brought to the lobby page, whereas I, as an attendee, get to see, make sure that I'm at the right event. It shows the time in my time zone, and if I've come too early, I can copy the link so I can come back at a later time. Once the event starts, it'll bring up the recording and the chat panel for the host, and this is the attendee view. All interactions will occur through chat, and for the host you can see how many attendees are currently in your event, and that will be the max number of attendees that have joined. And this is what the attendee sees. The attendee can chat back and forth. If an attendee enters something questionable, the host does have the opportunity to hide that comment, and the attendee will see a message noting that that particular message was hidden by the host, and no other attendees will see that message. For manually started events, to end them, click the End Event button. If this was an event that was an auto start event, when the recording ended, the event would automatically be ended. Now I can go look at the results of my event. So here you can see a copy of the recording. You can also see a list of all the chats that were submitted throughout the event. And so you can scroll to the various points within the event to see what was happening when the various chats were sent. Down here at the bottom, you will also see an attendee timeline. So at each point in the event, you can see when attendees joined and when they started to drop off. And again, you can go back to that point in time within the recording to find out what was being discussed or which content was being presented at that point. There's also the chat report, which is a CSV file that will show the email address and the chat, as well as the date and time of each chat, and then the registration report, which will show the name, email address, and company name of each person who registered for that event. When the event ends, the host will receive an email that indicates that the event ended. To verify that the event actually ended, it will provide the name of the event. It will show how long that event ran, and then it'll give you a brief summary of what occurred. So how many people made it to the registration page and how many of those people actually entered the event once it started, and then what percentage was that, and then it will show you the chat messages. It'll show the top chat contributors, and it'll show the number of chats that they sent. Something else that you can do is customize all the views that your attendees see. You can customize the live event view, starting with changing the ReadyTalk Illuminate logo to the Your logo, and you will upload that from your computer. And that will change it in the live view as well as in the registration page view. You can also change the colors to match your corporate colors. So you can either enter your hex code, and then this list will start to show your top 5 chosen colors. Here you can see I've chosen a lighter background, and it will apply to the top bar, the bottom bar, the chat bubbles, as well as it will change the overlay on the registration page itself. You can also do a light contrast or dark contrast. Then each of the images can be changed. So the lobby page, the registration page, the lobby page, and the thank you page. And again, you upload those images from your computer. This gives you all the control of what your users see and their full experience from beginning to end. That concludes today's demo of Replay. Robin, back to you.
Great stuff, Sam. I want to thank everyone for attending. One thing you may or may not have noticed is that this webinar is a replay. We pre-recorded and edited the webinar to create a flawless experience and opening us up to be able to engage through live chat. What's better than seeing a replayed webinar on replay? If we missed anyone's questions, we will follow up with you shortly. Now you can go ahead and talk amongst yourselves.